Alrighty, welcome to Unlocking Math K through 5 Math Strategies. We are so excited for you to be here and learn some of our favorite math strategies that we have for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and fractions. We'll also be doing a little bit of geometry with different shapes in this series. We are going to kick the series off with our favorite thing, addition. We are going to make tens. We are going to break our numbers apart, and we are going to use an empty number line as we add. Join us now as we go on this journey in this series, Unlocking Math K through 5 Strategies. Alrighty, let's jump into our first strategy. We are going to make a 10. And so first I wanted to remind you about all of our add-ins that equal to 10. So 9 plus 1 equals 10, 8 plus 2 equals 10, 7 plus 3 equals 10, 6 plus 4 equals 10, and 5 plus 5 equals 10. So we are going to use these numbers when we are doing a traditional addition problem. So our first problem is 9 plus 6. And we want to know, what does that equal? Well, we already know what makes a 10 with 9. 1. So we're going to break up our 6. Well, 1 plus what gives us 6? That is 5. So now that we have a 10 here, and you can write it underneath, equals 10. And then you can add your 5. And because we know that 0 and 5 is 0, we know that 9 plus 6 equals 15. Alrighty, let's try one more. Our next make a 10 problem is 8 plus 8. Well, since we have two 8s, it's okay. We can choose whichever one to break apart. But I'm going to break apart this one. And if we recall our facts that make a 10, 8 plus 2 makes a 10. So we are going to circle that 8 and 2 together. So now we have to ask ourselves, what plus 2 gives us 8? That is 6. So we are going to bring down our 10 here, plus the 6 we had with 8. And we know whenever we add anything to 0, we get the number itself. So that will be 1, 6. So 8 plus 8 is 16. This is how to use our knowledge of how to make a 10 with our add-ins to do other addition problems. Attached, you will find some practice problems for you to try. Remember how to make a 10. Okay, so this method is called break apart. Why is it called break apart? Because we are going to actually use place value to break apart our numbers. We know that we have a 6 in our ones place, and we're going to represent that with an O, and we have a 3 in our tens place. We're going to represent that with a T, and that will be same for our 15, our ones place and our tens place. And so when we say we're going to break these apart, we are going to break our numbers by place value. So we know our ones will just remain a 6 here. And for our 15, our ones will remain a 5. But now our tens, that means it's in the tens place. So this number is really times 10. So 1 would be 10. 3 here would be 30. So now we have broken the numbers apart. So we will add 30 plus 10, which equals 40. And we will add 6 plus 5. Now, you can add this traditionally, or like we learned in one of our previous videos, you can break this number apart to make a 10. So I'm just going to go the extra mile here. We know that 6 and 4 make a 10, and that leaves us a 1 here. So really our 10 plus 1 is equal to 11. And so now we need to add 40 plus 11 together to actually get what 36 plus 15 is. So we know anything added to 0 is itself. So we get a 1. And 4 plus 1 is 5. So 36 plus 15 is 51. Let's do one more to get you some practice in. So we are going to break our numbers apart again. This time we have 54 plus 32. So first, I like to label my numbers always. So I know my 4 is in my ones place, my 5 is in my tens place. So that also lets me know 5 is 50, 4 is 4. And then same for 32. My ones is my 2, and my 3 is my tens. So I know that my tens is going to be 30. So I am going to break these numbers apart. And I get 50 here and 4. I get 30 and 2. Now that we have them broken apart, we put together the same place value. So we will add 50 plus 30, which equals 80. And we will add 4 plus 2, which equals 6. We will combine these together. And we're going to keep that place value, right? So there is a 0 in our ones place for 80. So 0 plus 6 gives us 6. And we'll bring down our 8. So 54 plus 32 is 86. Now, we can do this with any numbers. So our next problem, we're going to step it up one more time. All right, get ready. As promised, we are stepping it up for this next break apart, and we are going to use digits with the hundreds place. So we have 336, 135. So what do we do first? If you said label our units first, that is what we're going to do. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds. And sometimes I call this H2O just to help you remember your place value, hundreds, tens, and ones. Alrighty, so now we are going to do the exact same thing for breaking it apart, except for this time we are going to break it into 3 pieces instead of 2. So it will be 300, 30, and 6. Same for this side. We will do 100, 30, and 5. And so what are we supposed to do next? If you said combined the numbers with the same place value, you are correct. So we will do 300 plus 100, which equals 400. We will then come and do 30 plus 30, which equals 60. And if you notice, I'm still keeping my place value here. So my ones are with my ones, my tens are with our tens. This just makes it a lot simpler when it is time to add. And then we have 6 plus 5, which is 11. And so now we are going to add all 3 of our remaining numbers up. 0, 0, and 1 gives us a 1. And then we have 6 plus 1, which gives us a 7. And we bring down that 4. So 471. So 336 plus 135 equals 471. All right, I hope you've enjoyed the break apart method. Feel free to watch this video again and until you are sure that you understand all of the steps. There are some problems for you to practice, and we will see you for our next video. Alrighty, let's jump into our last addition strategy called the empty number line. It gets its name because we start off with a completely empty number line and we use our largest number to start our number line off. So right now, our largest number is 58. So we are going to start at 58. And when we use this number line strategy, we want to use it in a couple ways. One, we like things like 1 space, 10 spaces, 5 spaces. So we can use our place value to determine how we want to jump. So we know we have 25. So that means we have a 2 in our 10s and a 5 in our 1s, which is great for our jumping. So if we jump 10, let's start with 10. We know that 58 plus 10 is 68. And that's because we know anything plus 0 is itself, and a 5 plus 1 is 6. As well as when we're counting, just like this number line, we're going up in place value by 10, and that's how we get 68. So now we have completed one of those 10s out of the 2, so let's do one more big jump of 10. So we're going to jump 10 more, and we're going to put our plus 10. So then now we will go to 78. And then because we have a 5 in our 1s, which is great, we can jump by 5, or we're at 78. How about we make it a little easier for ourselves? Let's make this a 10. What do we know plus 8 gives us 10? 2. So if we're going to jump a small jump by plus 2, we get 80 here. And we know we needed to jump 5. So if we're at 2, that means we need 3 more. So we're going to make another small jump of plus 3. So 2 plus 3 is our 5 1s. And so 80 plus 3 is 83. And now we can see visually that 10 plus 10 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to our 25. So we have added 25 to 58, which equals 83. Alrighty, we are going to try one more problem like this to get us some good practice in. Stay tuned. All right, we are back with another empty number line problem. And this time we stepped it up a notch. We are using a number with a hundreds place. So 122 plus 364. So we can start with our bigger number or our smaller number on our number line. And I just want us to show you that you have options. So we're going to start with 122 this time. So we're going to put our 122 here. And now looking at our number 364, we know that we have 3 hundredths in our hundreds place, 6 tens in our tens place, and 4 ones in our ones place. And on this number line, we like to jump by numbers of 110 and 1, 5s even. This helps us with our jumps, helps us with our counting, and makes our addition simpler. So we are going to get started. Since we have 300s, I want to start with hundreds. So we are going to jump 100. So 100 plus 122, we're going to add those ones in the hundreds place. So that's 2, and we know those zeros plus any number equals 0. So now we have 222. We are going to add another 100. So that will be 322. And we are going to add another 100. That will be 422 for our jumps. Now that we've satisfied our hundreds, let's go to our tens. So we can absolutely do 6 tens. We could do 60. You could even do 20s if you wanted to jump by. I'm going to jump by 6 tens. And you might want to make sure you space it out so that your number line makes. So we got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now I'm going to go back. So we had 422, and now we're adding our tens place. So that will be 432, 442, 452, 462, 472, 482 would give us our 60. And we have jumped each time and moved up our number by 1. And that also makes sense because if we think about it, our 2 from our 422 plus 6 is an 8. So that's how we get 482. And now we can jump by our last 4. So you can either jump by a whole 4 or you can either do your little jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just a plus 1 for each of these. And so 2 plus 4 gives us 6. So 122 plus 364 is 486. This is how you use an empty number line, and you can definitely make it your own. If you wanted to jump just by 300 automatically instead of all these 100s, or by 60 automatically, you could have. Whatever makes you comfortable, but this is a great way for you to visualize and model your addition until you know your facts really fast, or just to really help you in understanding what is happening. I hope you have enjoyed all of these addition strategies, and I hope that you check out the rest of our videos in this series. We will be doing subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions, and you can learn so much in these series. You can replay these videos, continue to watch, and thank you for joining me for addition strategies.